Thank you for joining me today for the second part of Lesson 83, My Happiness and My Function Are One. Earlier today, we expounded upon the responsibility and commitment, and also the letting go allowed in the lesson. My only function is the one God gave me. Today, or this evening, we are sitting with the joyfulness, the reward, the ease of allowing God's given function to us to be our only function. My happiness and my function are one. Let me read today's lesson. All things that come from God are one. They come from oneness and must be received as one. Fulfilling my function is my happiness because both come from the same source. And I must learn to recognize what makes me happy if I would find happiness. Some useful forms for specific applications of this idea are: this cannot separate my happiness from my function. The oneness of my happiness and my function remains wholly unaffected by this. Nothing, including this, can justify the illusion of happiness apart from my function. Breathing in, my happiness and my function are one. Breathing out. Breathing in, all things that come from God are one. Breathing out. Breathing in, they come from oneness. Breathing out, they are received as one. Breathing in, my happiness and function come from God. Breathing out, therefore, fulfilling my function is my happiness. Breathing in, I must learn to recognize what makes me happy. Breathing in, I want to find happiness. Breathing out, I recognize that my happiness and my function are one. As we sit in our meditation, calling to mind situations and circumstances where we believe we can't apply today's teaching because, this is too important. We hide it from today's teaching. We have thus idolized something apart from our function and our happiness. So let's call to mind these circumstances as we sit in practice. This circumstance, this person, this situation cannot separate my happiness from my function, which is to forgive, which is to be the light of God in the world, and to receive the light of God by offering forgiveness. The oneness of my happiness and my function remain wholly unaffected by this. Nothing, including this, can justify the illusion of happiness apart from my function. And let's sit with today's idea in silence as we continue to breathe in and out. Noticing the rise and fall of the torso. Let's look around our practice room and notice 5 things we can see. Breathing in and out with each one, saying to ourselves, my happiness and my function are one. 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 Now let's focus our thoughts on 4 things we can feel. Noticing where our feet make contact with the floor or mat or wherever you're practicing. My happiness and my function are one. Exhaling. Breathing in, noticing where my sits bones make contact with my chair or my mat. And exhaling. Saying to ourselves, my happiness and my function are one. Breathing in, sending our awareness further up the body, noticing the rise and fall of the torso as we say to ourselves, my happiness and my function are one. And breathing in, relaxing the face, relaxing the hands and shoulders. My happiness and my function are one. Now noticing 3 things we can hear. Inhaling, my happiness and my function are one. My happiness and my function are one. Notice the sound of our breathing and swallowing as we bring our attention within. My happiness and my function are one. And as conflicting thoughts continue to arise, reminding ourselves, we don't need to hold conflicting goals. My happiness and my function are one. In our highly individualistic and materialistic culture, it may really feel like detaching the ego's goals from our sense of love and self-worth is sacrifice, is loss. So we're working through that. Sitting with resistance, inhaling and exhaling. Finally, 2 things we can smell. Breathing in and out, my happiness and function are one. My happiness and function are one. And 1 thing we can taste. My happiness and my function are one. Breathing in, I am the light of the world. Breathing out. Breathing in, forgiveness is my function as the light of the world. Breathing out. Breathing in, the light of the world brings peace to every mind through my forgiveness. Breathing out. Breathing in, let me not forget my function. Breathing out. Breathing in, my only function is the one God gave me. Breathing out. And breathing in, my happiness and my function are one. Breathing out. As conflicting thoughts arise, we say, this cannot separate my happiness from my function. The oneness of my happiness and my function remains wholly unaffected by this. Nothing, including this, can justify the illusion of happiness apart from my function. And reminding ourselves as we say these things, we are not losing or suppressing or giving up on any of our personal goals. We are reprioritizing our happiness and our function. And sitting with today's practice for a few moments together in silence. Breathing in. Breathing out. Thank you for joining with me today. I look forward to seeing you tomorrow.